David had been living with a woman they believe is his stepmother, who apparently was living on the streets with David and other children when police found him. Investigators say the boy did attend Little River Elementary School and apparently had a home then, but still don't know how he came to be on the street or why nobody reported him missing.
It's a little bit confusing right now, obviously.
So, while you know a little bit, the mystery is not totally solved.
No, and it's deepened a little bit, in fact.
Now, one of the things investigators are saying they believe to be true is that the stepmother, or the person they think is a stepmother, might be an illegal alien. That might have caused her to be a little concerned about reporting the boy missing, concerned for her own safety. There's going to be a hearing on Monday to determine what to do with the boy, but they think he's going to be in state custody for some time while they figure out what kind of a home life would be fit for him. Back to you.
Dave, does the woman who claims that she does know him want him? Do they want to get him back?
Well, according to the state attorney's office, the uncle who's speaking for the family right now says, yes, they'd like the boy back. They haven't spoken to the stepmother. The two, the uncle and the boy, have not yet met because the state still wants to investigate before they bring the two together. But they expect the boy to be in court on Monday and probably the uncle. And at that point, the two would probably meet, and they might get a little bit better idea about the chemistry.
Big mess for such a little kid.
Thank
you, Dave.
Two University of Miami Hurricanes were in court today facing arraignment on federal fraud charges. Lamar Thomas and Jason Marucci were indicted Tuesday on charges they fraudulently received financial aid over the past 2 years. Action News investigative reporter Susan Candiati was at the sentencing hearing, and she joins us now from outside the federal courthouse with more details. Susan.
Ken, those Hurricanes, Lamar Thomas and Jason Marucci, both indicted for allegedly stealing almost $7,000 worth of federal Pell Grants. That's taxpayer money. Bought themselves a little extra time in federal court today. Both players looking more than a little uncomfortable before a federal magistrate today. Won a bit of a reprieve. They asked for and got a delay in their arraignment. They were supposed to enter a plea today, but the government agreed to give them a week to tell prosecutors why they should be able to avoid a showdown in court. Lawyers for both players indicate Marucci and Thomas would like to take the same offer U.S. attorneys made to 65 other players and students who weren't indicted in the scandal. If those players make retribution, they will wind up with no criminal record. Now, the lawyers for both of these players say the confusion arose over a communication problem. They said that they acknowledged they did get a letter from the federal government, but apparently didn't understand that there was a 30-day offer deadline involving that offer from the government. So they hope to iron all this out, and they have a week to do so. The only thing we can tell you so far is that Lamar Thomas, upon leaving, didn't have anything to say. His lawyer did, and responded that Lamar would be happy to get back to practice as early as tomorrow. Back to you.
Thank you, Susan. We'll be following that case, of course. The sentencing of religious leader Yahweh Ben Yahweh has been delayed until September 4th. That delay came about after Yahweh told the judge he no longer wanted Alcee Hastings as his attorney. Yahweh and 6 of his followers have been found guilty of conspiring to commit 14 murders, 2 attempted murders, and arson. Judith Israel, the second in command of the Yahweh religious empire, was sentenced today to 16 years in prison and fined $5,000 for her part in the crimes.
One of the men convicted of murdering a South Dade man in front of his children has been sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison. Convicted last night, 23-year-old Danny Evans was back in court to be sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms for gunning down Paul Sarnecki during an attempted robbery 1 year ago. At the hearing today, relatives of Sarnecki made an emotional plea for the toughest sentence.
They have no concern for any of us. They don't know what it's like right now. You have no idea how painful this is. And I don't think they care.
The second man convicted in Sarnecki's murder, Nakia Huggins, is scheduled to be sentenced sometime next week. Well, it may have been a case of letting the fox guard the hen house. A man employed as a security guard in Miami Lakes has been arrested in connection with a burglary ring operating there. The take is more than $50,000 worth of stolen property, from jewelry to cameras and electronic equipment to Oriental rugs and Nintendo sets. Police believe Frank Merheeb used his position as a security guard to commit 80 burglaries in the area of Northwest 67th Avenue and 173rd Street. A 17-year-old boy was also arrested.
Lightning touched off huge explosions and fires at a chemical plant in Texas this morning, forcing people from their homes and creating a mind-boggling sight. The flames being spewed from the plant looked like a scene from a Hollywood movie. Besides gusting winds, firefighters said there were no nearby fire hydrants to battle the flames. This afternoon, officials began letting people back into their homes. Lightning in South Florida put a maintenance man in the hospital yesterday. That victim, Jose Oves, is still in serious condition. The 58-year-old maintenance man was riding a lawnmower at Kendall Lakes Country Club when he was hit in the head by a bolt of lightning. Oves was found by 2 Miami paramedics who immediately began resuscitating him.
Fort Lauderdale police is still looking for the second suspect involved in last night's drag racing accident. One teenager, Chris Walker, was arrested and charged with reckless driving. 6 people were sent to the hospital after 2 cars that were drag racing along 5th Street apparently went out of control. A bicyclist was hit along with a parked car and another vehicle with a woman and child inside. A driver paying more attention to her radio than the roadway may soon be facing charges in the death of an elderly Broward man. Police tell us 80-year-old Harry Piotrowski was walking home from a grocery store in Tamarack this morning when he was hit from behind by a car driven by 23-year-old Jody Lynn Uffer. Uffer told police she was on her way to work when she looked away briefly to tune a portable radio sitting on the front seat.
Saturday will mark the 1-year anniversary of the gruesome murders of Mike and Missy McIver, a young Tavernier couple 1 month away from having their first child. As Action News reporter Bud Fraga found 1 year after the crime, the victims' relatives are concerned that not enough is being done to catch the killers.
Tim McIver will celebrate his 29th birthday this Saturday, but he won't feel like celebrating because it was on that day 1 year ago that his brother Mike and sister-in-law Missy were murdered.
It's bad enough they're dead, but the real horror comes now, and it just eats away at you every day.
What eats away at the families of the victims is now, a year later, detectives are seemingly no closer to solving the murders. This reenactment was recorded in May in hopes of generating some fresh leads. It didn't. Detectives know that the killer or killers entered the couple's Tavernier home from a ladder after first cutting the phone lines. Mike was downstairs and was killed first. Missy, who was 8 months pregnant, was asleep upstairs. She was bound and strangled. She and her unborn son died of asphyxiation.
There's no leads, nothing new. It's been a mystery. We have no idea what happened.
Under a steady rain, Tim left flowers at his brother and sister-in-law's gravesite, and he was struck by yet another painful memory of that horrible day.
Yeah, so it's raining just like this on a day.
Bud Fraga, Channel 6, Action News.
If you can help solve this crime, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers, the number 471-TIPS, 471-8477. There's a $16,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
Much more news ahead in your first look at 4 speeding may have been responsible for one of the worst accidents in Spain's history.
Palace insiders are reportedly seeing a royal shade of red after getting a look at Fergie's vacation photos. And there's more.
Hi, I'm Diana Morgan. President Bush is getting ready to make the political speech of his life tonight. I'll have that story live from the Republican National Convention in Houston when we come back.
Catch all the exciting Dolphins preseason action exclusively here on Channel 6. Sponsored in part by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
All across America, more people repurchase Kenmore appliances than any other brand. In fact, over 1 out of 2 homes in the country count on Kenmore. And now, in celebration of Kenmore's 65th anniversary, count on the 6-cycle Kenmore washer with America's largest usable capacity and matching Kenmore dryer, on sale only through Saturday. Kenmore appliances, 65 years and still counting. Only at the store you trust.
Peter Deutsch, service that makes a difference.
Founded the Medicare Information Program, helping older Floridians, and as state representative protected seniors against nursing home abuse and evictions.
Peter Deutsch, environmentalist, supported laws protecting the coast, the Everglades, and controlling hazardous waste.
Peter Deutsch, family man, always pro-choice, a friend of education, committed to national health care.
Peter Deutsch, Democrat for Congress.
Making a difference for us.
Channel 6 Action News, honored as Florida's best newscast by the Associated Press.
Saying he's got the adrenaline factor at work, President Bush is getting ready to deliver one of the most important speeches of his political career. The Republican National Convention will wrap up tonight with Mr. Bush's nomination acceptance speech. Our Action News team is still following all of the latest in Houston. And once again, we're going to go by satellite to anchor Diana Morgan, who is high above the Astrodome floor and high above that red carpet. Diana.
Hi, Ken. President Bush started the day off early with two events. He came here to the Astrodome this morning to practice on the teleprompter he will use tonight when making his acceptance speech. And he also attended a prayer breakfast put on this morning by the Houston Host Committee at the University of Houston. Former Olympic champ Mary Lou Retton made the introductions, calling the president her good friend. The president then spoke to the gathering, re-emphasizing this week's long-running theme of family values. Now, President Bush has a big selling job ahead of him here tonight at the convention. Many members of the Florida delegation that I talked with this morning agreed with that. They also had some suggestions on what Mr. Bush should say tonight, and they also had some personal favorites for the 1996 campaign.
On hold, it is going to be curtain times for that ticket, and I mean it.
President Bush talking real tough upon his arrival here in Houston. But what must the president say to the American people here tonight to convince them to put him back in the saddle again rather than send them riding off into the sunset? I talked with members of our own Florida delegation today, and they had some ideas.
I think he's going to actually threaten the Congress.
I hope he talks about his foreign policy record. I think that's something that he's really made some great strides in. And
talk about the economy.
Yes, I know the economy's sometimes in a slump, but I think that overall we've maintained our own. It could have been a lot worse.
While the Republicans have spent lots of time blasting the Democrats here in Houston, there has been another hot topic as well as the sun is about to set on this convention at the Astrodome, and that is who has the right stuff for the party in 1996. Lots of buzzing about that on the convention floor, and the names of several possible candidates keep popping up, whether Bush wins or not. This guy is one of the front runners. You remember him. He's Senator Phil Gramm of Texas. He gave the keynote address. Who else is in the running?
But I have an idea Pat Buchanan is possibly in the running, and he's the only one I know right now that I would feel secure with.
What about Dan Quayle?
I don't know how strong he is now because of the way they've talked about him on the comedians.
Who's a favorite among many members of the Florida delegation?
Jack Kemp.
Probably Mr. Kemp.
Mr. Secretary, there are a lot of people here in the Florida delegation who would love to see you make a run for it in 96. How is that looking?
Well, it's a little bit early. It's 92, and I'm working for President Bush. I'm on his team. I lost to him in 1988. I'll leave 96 till about January of 96.
You sounded like a candidate today.
Not really. No, this is Jack Kemp. This is vintage Jack Kemp.
Now, tonight's session will include a speech by former President Gerald Ford and, of course, acceptance speeches by Vice President Dan Quayle and President George Bush. Should be an exciting evening. Ken, back to you.
Sounds very good. You're doing a great job down there. Thank you very much, Diana. And, of course, John Hambrick is going to have more on Action News at 6 o'clock tonight.
Meanwhile, there's news on the economic front that President Bush probably didn't want to hear today. It tops our World Watch. The number of people filing first-time claims for jobless benefits shot up by 71,000 in the week ending August 8th. That's the largest weekly increase in more than 10 years. Analysts attribute the soaring figures to last month's temporary auto industry layoffs. Relief flights are once again landing at Sarajevo's airport. A British Hercules loaded with supplies for residents of the war-ravaged area touched down this morning. Tuesday, the same plane was fired upon, forcing a two-day shutdown of the airport. Still another victim of the violence in what used to be Yugoslavia was laid to rest today. More than 400 UN soldiers gathered to pay tribute to a Canadian Army sergeant who was killed by a landmine in Croatia. As many as 42 people are feared dead after a powerful earthquake rocked the border between China and the Central Asian Republic of Kyrgyzstan. The quake measured 6 points on the Richter scale, damaging dozens of homes and roads. 45 people died, 11 were injured when a bus swerved off a bend along a coastal motorway in Spain. The driver, who wasn't injured, was said to be going more than twice the speed limit. And the longtime leader of the Bahamas is out of a job. Lyndon Pendling has been ousted after 25 years in office. In a landslide win, Hubert Ingraham grabbed 31 of 49 parliament seats. Recession, high unemployment, and allegations of corruption led the way for Pendling's defeat.
Well, wait till you hear this. Buckingham Palace turning blushing pink and flaming red over the latest pictures of Fair Fergie. The front pages of the British tabloids covered with pictures of a topless Duchess of York and one showing American millionaire John Byron kissing her feet. He has said he's just a family friend and financial advisor, but as you might imagine, this is not the kind of advice the royal family wants. More dirt being dished up in the Woody Allen-Mia Farrow split, too. The New York Post reports that earlier this year, the actress gave daughter Soon-Yi an ultimatum. Choose between Allen and the family. Soon-Yi chose Allen. The ugly custody battle could be making its way to the movies now. Sources say Diane Keaton, a former Allen flame, is being considered to replace Mia Farrow in the director's new movie. Allen's scheduled to start shooting Manhattan Murder Mystery next month.
There's more news ahead in your first look at 4 o'clock.
You've heard of school being canceled because of snow?
Well, in California, it's record heat that's forcing kids out of the classrooms. And there's more.
There's a special immunization day, set for Saturday. I'm Dr. Steve Greenberg. I'll tell you why it's so important when Channel 6 Action News continues. So stay right there.
Save this week at Walgreens 1 cent sale. Stewart Hall envelopes. Buy 1 box for 69 cents, get a second for a penny. Tough trash bags in sizes from 13 to 33 gallons are just $2.49. Get a second for a penny. Just in time for back to school, a second pack of Mead filler paper is only a penny. That's 2 packs for $1. Plus, buy this caboodle at Walgreens for just $15.99 and get the locker caboodle inside for just a penny more. Catch the great 1 cent sale this week at Walgreens.
Running my own business is great. Whew. Especially when I'm planting these beauties.
You'd think he was planting stinkweed.
Presenting Ultra Gain.
Lucky for me, I got this green thumb.
Lucky for him, I've got this little scoop.
Ultra Gain's concentrated power gets clothes so clean, they'll smell like they were dried in the sunshine.
I know he lives for his work. Now I can live with him.
Ultra Gain, the clean you can tell by the sunshine smell.
Yeah.
All of these children have one thing in common. All of them were unplanned pregnancies. Pregnancies that could have ended in abortion. But their parents toughed it out, listened to their hearts, and discovered along the way that sometimes the best things in life aren't planned. Life, what a beautiful choice.
David Holt is always looking for ways to cut costs for his customers.
Compare Cottonelle bathroom tissue. 3 4-roll packages for $2.
Get more value at Publix. Dorothy Parker knows the importance of good value from first-hand experience.
Compare Hills Brothers regular coffee. Just $1.29 for the 12-ounce bag.
Get more value at Publix.
Secret meetings, grand jury indictments, and possible jail time. It sounds like big cities doing business involving big business, but this story is about a Central Florida school board. All 5 Hernando County School Board members have been indicted for violating a state law that prevents public officials from holding secret meetings on matters that affect citizens. The 5 could be fined and face up to 60 days in jail. Dade school officials and health experts joining forces this weekend.
You like shots? Their aim is to get more kids immunized in time for school. And Channel 6 Action News reporter Dr. Steve Greenberg is here with more. And Doc, are they going to get more kids immunized?
They hope to. Health officials have set this Saturday as School Health Day, a great opportunity for Dade County youngsters to get immunized. Little Isa Pope doesn't know it, but she's doing everything right. At just 2.5 months old, she's getting her first vaccinations. A little polio protection by mouth, then the main event, the diphtheria, tetanus, or whooping cough shot, followed by the meningitis shot. Isa may not like it, but getting immunized is critical. In fact, it's so important that for the 3rd year in a row, Public Health is opening its doors on a Saturday to get Dade kids disease protected.
This effort on Saturday is really combining the community health centers, the health department, the clinics that Jackson runs to really get together and give the immunizations and the physicals that kids need.
What makes the special immunization program all the more valuable is the following shocking statistic. Here in Dade County, 39% of our youngsters under the age of 2 are not properly immunized.
The more children that aren't immunized, the more of these diseases like measles, like pertussis are around in the environment. And what you have to do is really make sure that you get your child immunized. People sometimes say they're scared of getting their children immunized. We know for a fact that it is much, much, much more dangerous for a child not to be immunized than to be immunized. The complication rates are extremely, extremely small.
And in case you're wondering, Isa Pope did just fine. And in 2 months, her mother will need to bring her back for her second round of shots. You think Isa's gonna be mad at you about this?
Yes. Yeah, she's gonna be mad.
But it's for her own good, right?
Yes, it's for her own good. And also, everybody else is good too.
Now, this Saturday is School Health Day. Every Dade County child who needs his or her immunization can go to any of the 16 health centers located throughout Dade County. Now, if you want more information about School Health Day, you can call the Special Immunization Program at 325-2554. That's 325-2554. I'm told last year more than 400 youngsters took advantage of this special Saturday immunization program, and it's a terrific opportunity. Back to you two.
Steve, how much is this going to cost the parents?
The most it can cost them is $15, but if you can't afford the $15, it's free. And again, they don't check to see if you're a registered alien or any of that stuff. It's free to any kid who needs it. It's a privilege.
Okay, the main thing is your child needs it.
Call those numbers. Thanks, Steve. Kids and school officials in Southern California finally gave in to the heat wave that's been plaguing the area. We told you yesterday how soaring temperatures were wreaking havoc in Los Angeles. Fans were blowing full force. Students fanned their homework, and teachers even squirted them down. But the mercury that neared triple digits inside finally won out. School officials released the students early, let them go home to fight the heat. And what a way to do it. The heat that continues to have a more devastating effect in Northern California, where thousands of firefighters continue battling an out-of-control blaze. The fire started from a car's exhaust system. It's already burned more than 10,000 acres. It's now running through dried timber with the help of gusting winds and temperatures of more than 100 degrees. There has been no damage estimate yet, but fighting the blaze has cost $3.5 million. That's just so far.
Boy. Still ahead on your first news, this.
We'll tell you what this man claims to be, and will the weekend weather be anything to shout about? He's Maria.
Gee, I looked like that just about 10 minutes ago, getting ready to come out here. The weekend weather, and of course, Andrew. What's he doing? Where's he going? Tell you all that next.
Hey kids, it's back to school time.
You hear that? No.
Well, hear this. Save on Mervin's Cheetah for Kids in time for back to school.
I heard it again. We're gonna have to get your ears checked.
Check out the savings on Cheetah tops and bottoms.
Yeah, I heard him say back to nothing.
Save on our entire stock of Cheetah for boys and girls for back to school.
Sure is quiet tonight, isn't it? If you say so.
Save on Kids Cheetah through Saturday at Mervin's.
The look returns. I shaved my head. Bald is back.
I've shaved my head.
Bald is better than ever.
I shaved my head, and so did Sonny.
People all over South Florida are celebrating the bald return of Captain Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek The Next Generation. Watch evenings at 7, because the look is back.
I shaved mine.
They keep shaving and shaving. The Jean-Luc look, evenings at 7, starting September 8th on Channel 6.
Catch all the exciting Dolphins preseason action exclusively here on Channel 6. Sponsored in part by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered for real draft taste.
Today, Eckerd Brand had a very busy day because today, about 562,000 people relied on Eckerd Brand products to make them feel better. How well did they work? Just listen. Today, thousands will trust Eckerd Brand antacid because their Eckerd pharmacist recommends it, or because of the Good Housekeeping seal. But about 9,000 people will take it because the home team lost again.
Well, should we find out what the weather's going to be like for the weekend?
Looked like it was going to rain. I mean, I'm not in weather, but
You know, it's only Thursday, but I know she's worried about the weekend already.
you bet.
Well, it is my weekend.
Yeah.
Today is my Friday. And I'm worried about the weekend on Monday, Sunday. I'm always worried about the weekend. Anyhow, yes, you're right, Barb. It does look as though it will rain. If I look off to the west, I see lightning here and there, so we do have some showers in the area, majority of which throughout the western portion of both Dade and Broward counties right now. And all of this, once again, will clear out. We're under the same weather pattern that we have been for the past week, and it's going to continue on. 90 degrees right now in the city, a little bit breezy too because of the showers nearby. Winds out of the east at 12, humidity is 56%, and the barometer is falling. The big question and the big story is Tropical Storm Andrew. Right now, good news, Andrew is disorganized. Current coordinates are 21.3 north, 61.3 west. It is now 250 miles northeast of the Leeward Islands. It's moving to the northwest now at 10 miles an hour. Winds are 45, so it's slowing down and the winds are a little bit weaker, and now the storm looks a little disorganized. We're still going to have to watch it. This is the radar that we have right now. A few scattered showers and thunderstorms, the heaviest of which throughout the lower and middle Keys. We have some showers right off the Atlantic too, and the heaviest of which once again throughout the western portion of Dade and Broward counties. No movement has been shown just as yet. So clearing skies continuing throughout tonight. By midnight we should have a starry night. Low temperature about 79. Then for tomorrow morning, a repeat performance. We're going to see sunshine in the morning, then in the afternoon it's going to cloud over once again with showers and thunderstorms, majority of which once again inland. Temperatures tomorrow in the lower 90s. No real change throughout the weekend, and of course the latest on Andrew coming up for you at 6 o'clock on Channel 6 Action News. See you then.
Have a nice weekend.
You too.
Take a look now at some of the stories we'll have for you at 6. One more good reason why you should never take your eyes off your young child when he or she is in the pool. A 2-year-old Hallandale girl is dead. And high hopes from Houston. Republicans are banking on President Bush's acceptance speech tonight to give him the momentum he needs to propel himself into a second term in the White House. And that's all coming up at 6.
Well, now the answer to the question, what can 6 years of loud parties and heavy metal concerts do for you? This is Harry Schuller, age 24, of New Zealand, and a buddy of his. Harry is now the unofficial world's loudest screamer. He clocks in at 130 decibels. That's more than a jet plane at takeoff, which is about 100 dB. The scream is so loud. How loud is it, you might ask? Well, it can be felt as well as heard. Worst part is, he says, down under, there are lots of loud people. Remember that when you visit New Zealand.
I will remember.
We got to go.
See you later.